All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got a request for a Star Atlas review. There's a couple coins involved in this project, and it's very pretty. It's a very pretty looking project. It is based around a game, a metaverse, and a couple tokens. And we'll just take a quick look at the trailer. I'll let it play. Won't have the audio playing for you guys, but I will just talk about some of the basics while we go through the motions here. So the CEO, Mike Wagner, has a history in the space of both blockchain and technology and gaming. And he calls the game more complex than it sounds. And for people who haven't heard about these types of games before, that makes some sense. Diving into the complexity of what this is really, it can be very exciting. It can be quite daunting as well. But for people that have been around and checked out games like this in the past, Earth 2, there have been some other ones. Star Citizen is a big one right now. This one is different because it's based on the blockchain. It's based on the Solana blockchain. And that's great. You get some good throughput when it's actually up and running. But the game itself is very similar to the theory of Star Citizen and some of the others, where there is an unlimited, nearly unlimited metaverse that you can live in and operate in and make money in, real world money, through their tokens and their ships and the value associated with them. So it's a massive multiplayer online game. It's set in the year 2620, and the universe has been colonized and balkanized. There are 3 factions, and you're going to have to pick one of them, and then you can set up some groups within those factions as well. You can earn in-game currency, which is Atlas and Polis, and we'll have some more details on that coming up here shortly. With the game itself, you can see the marketing and the graphics here. They're absolutely stunning. It's really, really well put together in that respect. And I think that's the easy part. These games will always be front run with marketing. And we'll take a look at kind of where they are in that movement forward space very, very shortly here. Let's take a quick look at the experience first. I think if we click to enter, even the web page is very exciting. So as we scroll down here, you're going to see a lot of the same kind of conversation. And as we move down, you just scroll down and you get more information. You get to immerse yourself into the depths of this universe. And they talk about some of the technology that's coming out with it. You can build almost anything you like in the future, not at the moment. It's an exploration. You can take a look at your 3 factions. And that's kind of where this thing kicks off. Right now, what you can do in the game is set up your account, link your wallet. You can buy some ships. You can buy some what are essentially kind of membership passes to the community. There are some rewards that you can start earning already by staying involved and being active and using your tokens appropriately. The ships look pretty slick, very, very cool. Could be better on the homepage, I would think, but they are a part of this big ecosystem. Some people will go into this and try to explore and mine and discover new worlds and claim land. In fact, you can already buy planets and land and areas within this game, even though it's not up and completely running. The marketplace is fairly busy for a game that's not operational yet, and you can set up and play however you like. The problem is, if you damage your ship, if something else happens in the game, it's going to cost you those in-game tokens, which actually have real world value. So playing smart, not getting too sloppy would be probably in your best interest. So let's take a look at the overview here. A little less graphics, a little more content. But you can see here, they've had different sales. There's different things happening in the marketplace. On average, you're getting transactions around 200 to 400 USDC right now in the marketplace. Your inventory, you have to claim some items to be able to participate in what's going on right now. And they have different releases. I believe they call them posters that you can participate in and earn different rewards with. There's your 3 factions, and they all have their different benefits and drawbacks, the aliens, the androids, and the humans, and they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Stealth and scanning for the Oni. The Mud have firepower and travel distance, and then maneuvering and hull strength for the Ooster. You can create player organizations already, and your usernames are interesting because they're actually kind of stored like the way that a DNS server is, or the Ethereum name service is. and they're stored on the blockchain that way. So that's kind of a cool feature that I noticed. But most of the details of that are still coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. All right, we get the picture. Everything is kind of still coming soon. So the reality is that this game is not near launch. They are just kind of kicking off the alpha, finally just opening up some mini missions and things like that in the game. There's not a whole lot to do, and this is very typical of these sorts of games. They take a very long time to launch. Their target launch is actually not until 2023, probably in the first half is what they're calling for right now. If we jump over to their roadmap, which I got from Reddit there, you can see that a lot of the stuff that's complete, everything basically from here down, is basically marketing and setup. And of course, they got to get their tokens sold as soon as possible to keep funding the game. But we do have some ship missions being launched that are completed. Metaverse usernames are almost there. The Polis DAO is what the Polis token represents. They have a decentralized autonomous organization, and they're attempting to bring player governance into the game development itself, which historically, in any project that we've seen, whether it's an NFT project or gaming or something else, it really does slow down kind of the ability of things to grow and develop. So maybe not the type of development you want to see on something that you want to get your hands on right away, but if you want to build value and have a say and be a part of the ecosystem, it's perfect for you. You're going to need your Polis tokens to do that. So the actual two tokens are going to be Atlas is the primary one for in-game, whereas Polis will bring other aspects of the game into play for you. Political intrigue is what one article calls it. That's the word I was looking for. It gets distributed, and we give up that majority stake that we have, and then it's totally feasible for the public at large to implement changes that maybe we don't want. The idea is that in the future, we don't have complete control over the outcome of the metaverse. So they're admitting that it is very centralized at the moment. In fact, a lot of the development that's coming is actually still private. It's not even open sourced yet. So we're not even totally sure what some of that is. So a few questions to be had here still. When looking at some of the media coverage of it, most of it is fairly positive. There have been some questionable reviews, and that always comes with the territory in these newer platforms because they are incomplete. And that's one of the primary complaints is you want me to commit hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars of my crypto to participate in something that I currently don't have control of, and I don't know that it will ever kind of meet the expectations of what that trailer just showed you and that sort of thing. So this is a passion project. If you're getting involved in these sorts of things, this has to be something that you want to be involved in. This has to be something that you have a emotional attachment to. A lot of people really do love these types of things. Star Citizen has raised billions and billions, and one of the largest fundraisers, if not the largest fundraise for any project in the entire world. And it's still going strong, and a lot of people still really enjoy it. Did it ever catch on to the mainstream and turn into the metaverse that they had anticipated at the start? I would argue no, but this is kind of that next level, and it brings in NFTs, it brings in the metaverse, it brings in crypto as a currency, and it's really cool to see whether it's able to kind of succeed in that mission and that drive. We'll have to see. So let's take a quick look at the tokens themselves. We have 2.1 billion of the 36 total supply of the Atlas token. So there's a lot of space there. There's really not many in circulation. So as more tokens are released, there's probably going to be some questions about the token economics. And if we take a look at the actual token price in its existence, as high as 23 cents. When it listed, it was just over 8, kind of recapped at 19 cents. And currently we've got a low of 4.3, 4.4 cents. And we're not far off that at the moment. As far as technical analysis go, I would draw a line straight across the top here and say, until you cross that, there's no question that this appears to still be going down. These projects will lack in marketing power as they continue, and a lot of its marketing power was put into 2021 when the token sales were occurring. And I don't really anticipate Atlas as a token to bring a lot of value to the world anytime soon. I would not even be surprised to see another kind of 75% down from here as the development starts to continue and people will remain interested, but the value of those tokens at this time, I would expect to dwindle a little bit further, if not a lot further. The DAO token, on the other hand, is basically following the same path, just a little less dramatic in the middle. They spent some time kind of sorting something out here, but the volume is abysmal. The token itself is only worth $2.68 after a peak of $14.63 when it was first listed, after being listed around $8.60. Again, kind of one of those things. You really got to have some passion here. Potentially have a way of making money in game to compensate for what is likely to happen with the token prices themselves if you're worried about the monetary value. But if you're just looking to stack and be ready for launch, maybe there's an opportunity there to get in cheaper and to save up those tokens, stock them away until the better days arrive. As a project, as a whole, I think it's really cool. There's nothing to be too upset about because half of it isn't even made yet. The setup to get to play is not overly complex. Anybody who's bought an NFT or participated in these sorts of games before, it's a fairly easy process to get in, decide on your character, your faction, join your public club, and then buy a spaceship and maybe be able to fly it around a little bit at this point. You can buy land and sell land. There's other kind of real estate opportunities here outside of just the tokens. But with the token value decreasing, I'm needing them to buy that land. That raises some questions as well. The land value will decrease, although you might get more tokens and be okay with that if you expect it to kind of recover in the future. So not something I would get involved in as an investment at this time. Certainly something that I could get involved in as a emotional linked project. I used to be very into these sorts of games back in the day. I don't do any gaming anymore, so this is one that's going to have to wait for me. I might get in when I see Atlas down another 50% or 75% and say, I think this might get big. I think this might be able to pull it off. And then I might be looking at more of a financial investment after I come back to check on development and timelines. Typically, these timelines will not hold up. I'll be very surprised if it launches in the first half of 2023 in any kind of complete capacity. There will be more launches, there will be expansions, but they're promising the whole game by 2023, mid 2023. So I won't hold my breath on that. I've been down that road too many times. I really think the project is very cool. I don't think there's anything to be too upset about. I don't see too many red flags. The team is spectacular. What they're doing already is actually fairly impressive in the time that they've had to put it together. And there is some hype, there is some excitement around it. So I think there is an upside here. I just don't think it's coming anytime soon. And at this point in the marketing development cycle, I really don't see an upside in the really near future, unless they somehow, I have no idea how they do it, they somehow can reignite that marketing and that excitement, that hype around something that's getting released. A big beta release with more than anticipated in content, maybe something like that would help them out. So that's a quick review of Star Atlas. Very, very cool project, very sparkly on the outside, but not a whole lot of content just yet on the inside. So keep an eye on it. Definitely one to watch as the metaverse and NFTs and these in-game currencies really kind of take center stage. There will also likely be some restrictions as to how and where you're able to use those tokens. Currently, the Atlas token is fairly accessible overall. You've got Kraken, Gate.io, not too many other main exchanges, but that's not bad. FTX has it. There we go. There's a few of them that you can find it if you want to go digging for it, even in the US. But with the regulations coming and other things as well, these are projects that are probably going to hit some roadblocks that way. So one more kind of what if situation out there for them. But currently, one of the best places to kind of start participating in these things is getting involved in the ecosystem and being on Solana. Their decentralized exchange is Serum, SRM. They have their own token even. So getting involved in the decentralized exchanges is also another great way to not just participate in these games, but bring DeFi into the mix, which is actually going to be a big part of how Star Atlas operates on a financial and tokenized level in the future. So hope that helps kind of sort some things out. And I really enjoyed kind of checking this out a little bit, watched a couple live streams, and it's going to be really neat. It's going to be really neat to follow up and see where it goes. But financially, this kind of looks like one of those wait and see sort of projects.